It's that super flow, no, she must flow. Yeah, it's that super flow.
Hey everyone, welcome to my guide for the Leviathan raid. This video will be going over the Royal Garden, or more affectionately known, dogs. The dogs are an encounter where your fire team is in two groups. The group of 4 on the ground running from flower to flower, and a group of 2, which will be the Prism Shooters. Later in the video, I'll be pointing out specifics of each group. The main focus is both groups are working together to gain a damage multiplier or stacks to be able to effectively kill your dogs. The way my team and I run this encounter is we each have an assigned dog that we set before the start of the encounter. And depending on how confident we are at the beginning, we will either kill or just damage our dogs during each damage phase. This decision is made as a group. If you choose to just damage the dogs, you don't want someone going off and killing their own dog and making the next stacks phase a little bit more difficult because you have less time. The first individual portion of this video, I'm going to be identifying the individual flowers that the runners are going to be running to build stacks. Every runner near a flower, when it is shot, will add 3 stacks. So it's a good practice to have all the runners on the same page to make it to the flower at roughly about the same time. The labels that I put and I talk about in this video are the way that we call out the flowers. You can call them whatever you want. It's your own preference. The second individual portion of this video, I'll be talking about the Prism Shooters and the locations that they can shoot the individual flowers from. These prisms can only be shot from the beams of golden light that are scattered throughout the encounter area. Something that the Prism Shooters also have to remember is after each flower, whether it be on their side or the opposite side, there's going to be a beast handler spawning, and you have to take out that beast handler because the guys on the ground can't shoot the beast handlers because they're going to be carrying an orb of light. And this is the L1 flower. This is the part of the video that I was saying that I was going to explain all the different flower locations. Right now I'm at L2. This is all the left side of the map with the left Prism Shooter. These are also the flowers that the Prism Shooter will be worrying about. This is tree, obviously from the grove of trees that you're standing in, and the last one is L3. Whenever you're running on the ground from flower to flower, you can always look up and look towards, try to find the safe room for whenever you need to find it. Now we're moving over to the right side of the map. This is R3. As you can see, I'm trying to look up and give you guys a visual of what you can see from the flower so that you're not so disoriented. Now I'm moving to the R2 flower, and next will be the R1 flower, and the last one that I'll run to after this R1 flower is going to be the cave flower. That's probably the most hidden flower in the map, not really the hardest one to find. And now we are at the golden beam section with the prisms. This, as you can see, there's multiple golden beams. What my team has found out from doing all of our runs is it's a lot easier just to have the left side Prism Shooters standing on this beam the whole time, because you can shoot all of your flowers from this one beam, as well as being able to see all of your beast handlers whenever they spawn. As you can see, I'm showing somebody the different flowers and where they can be shot from on the actual golden beam. The first one was L1, the second one was L2, the third one was L3, and the last one would be your tree. As you run through the encounter, the Prism Shooters are going to be calling out which flower that the runners need to run to. The flower, you'll be able to tell which flower that your runners need to run to because it'll be lit up a purple color, and you will call out which flower it is that they need to run to. As I said, this helps build the stacks for damage multiplier and helps your team more effectively kill the dogs. The way that we run our dogs is each individual person has their dog, and the 2 Prism Shooters take care of the very back flowers, which are the L3 and the R3 flowers. So your L3 is going to take out your L3, or your left side Prism Shooter will be taking out your L3 dog. Your right side Prism Shooter will be taking out your R3 dog. And like I said, these Prism Shooters, the only places that they can shoot their prisms from is from these golden beams of light that you see throughout the encounter area. And now I'm going to show you the right side Prism Shooters locations that they can shoot from and be able to take out their beast handlers whenever they spawn. So this is your middle of the area, but right side's a little bit more difficult because you have to jump from beam to beam. The beam that you saw me shooting at, that's the only beam that you can hit the R1 flower from. So if you see the R1 flower lit, you know you have to be on that beam. The beam that I'm on right now is the cave beam. This is the only beam that you can hit your cave flower. If you look around and you don't see any other flowers opened up, most likely you have cave. This last beam is where you'll hit your R2 and R3 flowers from. This one is more difficult because sometimes the beast handlers that spawn, you cannot see them from this location, so you'll have to hit the flower, get back to the middle of the map to the cave beam, and then be able to shoot your beast handler. Again, the right side will be taking care of the R3 dog, and the left side will be taking care of the L3 dog. Just a quick run through. This portion of the video will be, me and my team just slowly and methodically running through and collecting stacks, and you can see how the flowers are lit up and kind of some of the paths that I myself take whenever I lead the group on the ground to get from flower to flower more efficiently and more effectively. There are faster paths out there. You'll find different paths. You'll see videos of different people taking different paths to get to flowers quicker. You don't really need anything more than 36 to 48 on your multiplier to take out a dog yourself. That being said, there are people who aren't as confident in taking out a dog by themselves, or there's people that are confident taking out 2 dogs by themselves. So whatever your team makeup and composition is, you guys will figure out the best way to complete this encounter for yourself. After each phase of running, and if you guys decide that you don't want to completely kill the dogs off and you just want to do damage, then you have to get back to the safe room, which is the room that you drop into to collect the orbs. You won't be able to run through the side doors, so you all have to jump through the top. You have roughly about 30 seconds from the time that you start the damage phase, which is whenever the dogs howl, and you'll drop your orbs and you run to your dog and do some damage, and you'll have roughly 30 seconds to either kill or damage your dog and get back to the safe room. Once back in the safe room, the wipe sequence will happen, and if you're in the safe room, you will not wipe. And then after that, your Prism Shooters will jump back out of the top, back out to the top and pick up their prisms, and you'll do another round of running and getting damage multipliers, and then back into a damage phase. However many damage phases it takes for you to take out your individual dog, that's how many it takes. Don't rush through it. Take your time and just make sure that you complete the encounter. That way you don't have to, spend multiple attempts and multiple tries trying to complete it. Just be methodical and take your time. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you learned a lot, hit a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Greatly appreciated. And I will see you on the next one.